all of the programming that we've done up to now has pretty much started at line 1 up here on the code. So line 1, and it's just sequentially gone down to the bottom. It's like it's locked in, like a global interpreter lock. Okay, so it's just gone down, 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 and then once it's hit the end, it's stopped and has returned control back to the command prompt. What if we want a program to continue on working until we say stop? Or what if we want the program to run 5 times and then stop? Can we do that in these programmings? In the program, these programmings. Let's get rid of this. I think we've outgrown input demo 1. So let's make a new file, and we'll save this file. Save as. Okay, desktop programming. It's in Python. It's in the demos, and we're going to call this loop demo.py. Py is critical here. Let's see if it's in here. Okay. Loop demo.py, great. It's a Python file, brilliant. Put the doc string at the top. So what we want to do now is we want to do loop structures. So this is, we want to make the computer program run again and again, or we want to make the program run X number of times. These are just 2 examples. We're going to use this when we make the Yilmaz, or when we make this stimulus. This is critical for what we want to do. So there's 2 ways that I want to talk to you about making loops. The first one is to say, okay, while a condition is true, okay, so the keyword here is while. While this, whatever we put in the brackets here, is true, colon. So then everything after this while statement that belongs to this condition and this loop has to be indented. We do something. We can print something out, or we can do some maths, or we can do some calculations. Something, whatever we want to do in here. The other way that we can do this is for. So this means that for a condition, we'll do something. So for example, we would say something like for I in range 10. We'll go through what this means. But first we'll do the while statements, and then we'll do the loop, and then we can do something. I know there's a lot packed in here. We'll go through that. I'm just signposting for you now that this is what we're going to do today in this video. So firstly, let's do a while loop. So while true, we want to print whee, hello. Okay, I'm just being a bit silly now. That's okay. Silliness is acceptable if it's by the rules. Let's run this program. Well, first let's think what happens. What's going to happen? Well, it's going to say whilst whatever's in this parentheses is true, so that's true, it's going to do this. And then it's going to break out. Okay, break out of this loop. So let's see what we get. So Python, and we want to run loop demo.py, and then it's printed it out, and holy moly, it's still working, it's still working, it's still working. Oh my goodness, the program's not stopping. Do you remember how to stop the program? How we can keyboard interrupt the program? Yes, Control then C and hold it down. Okay, I've just stopped the program. I've interrupted and said, hey, slow down there, Tiger, you're going too fast. So We have to be careful now when we set conditions on loops, particularly the while loop. They're very important, while loops, and they have their place, but we have to now just double check. Is it going to run all the time, or have we made it so that it will stop? Let's have a look at what we can do. We're going to make a counter, something that counts from 0 and it will count up. So let's make a counter. So in a lot of programming languages, to count over something, it's to iterate. I-T-E-R-A-T-E, to iterate over something. And iterate, the first letter of iterate is I. So we'll say I, this will be our iterator, and we're going to make that equal 0. Now, this is outside the loop, okay? When I'm saying it's outside the loop, it means that we have set it literally outside of where the loop is, and we've also set it on the left-hand most side. Is that left? Yeah, you see that. This is the left-hand most side. Anything that's inside a loop, so we think of it inside and outside. Inside the loop, remember, it comes after the loop, but it's also indented in. Does that make sense? Outside the loop, it's at the same indent as the start of the loop. Anything inside the loop, okay, we put one indent in. So we can print now, print I. We'll force it into a string, and what we'll do is we'll say the current loop number is plus that, oh sorry, wrong way around, plus is that plus that, okay. So what are we doing here? We're saying while true, so that's definitely going to be true, because we've set it to true, it's going to print this out. And what's it going to print out? The current loop number is with a space and then I. And remember, we've set I up here to be 0. So let's see what we get. So it's printing out all the time. The current loop number is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. But I'll keyboard interrupt that. I'll clear the screen. But we want to make a counter. So we know that what's happening is that this loop is saying, okay, it's true, it's going to run. And then it goes back up to the top. It loops back around up to the top and it says, okay, it's still true. And then it goes and does what's inside the loop. And then it loops back or goes back to the top. Still true, current number is. So you see how now we're looping back over. We start at the conditional. If the conditional is true, it then does that loop. So here, what we can do after we've set that is we can make I now equal the original I plus 1. So the first time this runs, okay, the first time this runs, I is 0, so that's going to print out 0. Remember, that's what we saw on here. And then we're going to say I now equals this I plus 1. So 0 plus 1 is now 1, so I equals 1. And then what it does is it goes back up to the top here. It says, okay, we're still true. And it says the current loop number is, now that's 1. Because remember, we set it 1 here. It doesn't go back here because we're doing stuff inside the loop, so we can update variables inside the loop. In this case, it's I, the iterator. So the first time it does it, then it says this is 1, so it should be the current loop number is 1. And then I equals 1 plus 1, so that's going to be 2. So then it's going to go this, and then it's going to say 2. And then that becomes 3. Then that prints out 3, then that becomes 4. Let's see what we get. Okay, so you see it's I'll just keyboard interrupt that. So you can see it's actually counting up by 1. 6084, 6085, 6086. Okay, so this way we've just created a counter. So we can keep track now on whether or not, keep track on the number of times we've done that loop. Okay, so if we say now, while I is less than, say, 10, what do we get? Here we go. 0, so the first time it did it, I is 0, that's less than 10, so that's correct. And so therefore it's printed out, and then it's incremented by 1. And then it's got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you see, we've now controlled how many times that program has run. In this case, it's 10. 10 times. We can set this to 100 times. Let's run it. So it goes from 0 to 100. 99, it stops at 99 because 99 is less than 100. Once it gets up to 100, so when, say 99 equals 99 plus 1, that's 100. 100 is not less than 100, so it says that's false, and so therefore it finishes the loop, breaks out. And so it will then, if we come back out here, we've broken outside the loop, we start at the left-hand most indent, we say done. We can print done, do it again, it's done at 97, 98, 99, 100, and then it's printed done at the end. Okay, so here we can set that condition, this condition here. Well, if we look back to the Yilmaz paper, they wanted to do it 15 times here, didn't they? So let's put this control in. So while repeat is less than number of repeats, we'll just put I actually, we'll use the iterator. So I, so we set I to 0 because we start with no stimuli at the start. So here we'll put this is the iterator counter, let's say. We set that to 0 and then we say, while I is less than the number of repeats, print stimulating. And then plus string I, just so we can see what number that we're putting in. What do we get? AG demo 1.py. Okay, pause time ms not defined. What have I done? Right, remember I changed this up here to seconds, so then I changed them all to seconds. I forgot to do that. And so it says, okay, you've got a name error. You've named something wrong on line 17. Yep, there it is. It's my gravy-filled fingers. Class float. Enter number of repeats, 15. So stimulating 0. Something's not working here. What haven't I done? Have a think. It's not breaking out. Well, what's it printing out? Stimulating 0, stimulating 0, stimulating 0. But I want it to go up by 1 every time we do it. It's because we haven't added. We haven't told the counter to increment. So I equals I plus 1. Okay. We don't need the print type now because we know that it's not needed for our program. So we'll clear the screen. Enter the number of repeats, 15. There we go. Stimulating 0 to 15. So here we can control the numbers of times we want to present the stimulus. This is the longhand way of saying add 1. Okay. In Python, what we can do is plus equals 1. It's a very shorthand way of saying I now plus add plus equals 1. It does that counting for us. We don't have to say I equals I plus 1. We just say I plus equals 1 and it will do it automatically. Am I telling the truth? Well, let's find out. 15? Yes, it's done it automatically. I want a space in here. and I want to see whether or not it works for any number of times. So let's do 5, 0 to 4. Great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's done at the correct numbers of times. It starts at 0 and then it counts up after we do the print statement. That's while loops. I'll split this video into two. That's while loops. We'll go into for loops in the next video.